First, thank you. I'll say Better Africa Talks. This is a very, very powerful thing. This is what Africa needs. This is what will definitely get us somewhere. And once again, I am very grateful that I'm part of this program. And I go by Baboucarr Mbye Saidy, and I'm from Gambia, West Africa. And I basically do community social work, in other words, advocacy and activism. I have been into this for close to 25 years now, and this is just my passion, and it happens to be my occupation, and it's a way of life today for me. And principally, all we do is to advocate for the community, advocate for society, advocate for the marginalized, the poor, and the rural community. My background is education, communication, and humanitarian work, social work as such. And I have been into this because I feel that it's no task nobler than serving humanity. And it is very important that people invest time and energy in things like this, because it is what takes us to the next level. And the middle class, the forgotten, the marginalized, and of course the underprivileged will bang on our efforts, bang on our doing to really get by and get to the next level. So I saw myself to be some person who is adding on to that great effort, that great job that people before us did, great men and women sacrificed for us. So it is definitely something that I look up to, really getting by and getting things going. You count. Young people, I can tell you from experience, you count. How is this? I remember very well when I was at GAMSU, the activities and programs that we organized for young people across the Gambia. And of course, even the demonstration we staged. A lot of people will claim we have a lot of life lost, but we gain a lot more. Government began to be very serious with the lives of our students. They begin to look at it at a very professional, at a very eager to do something point of view. And to us, it meant a lot. It meant a lot, a whole lot. Now, coming back to the youth parliament. At the youth parliament, when I was at the youth parliament, we dissect and look at our road safety issues because it affected young people. Gambia has 60% of its population as young people. And then we look at the road safety, it's usually young people involved in the driving, and it's usually young people that are really affected, like are victims also of those accidents as well. So road safety became a very big issue nationally. We took it upon ourselves to really discuss and then come up with some sort of a bill through a National Assembly member, because we are the younger parliamentarian. We have national parliamentarians where they are elected as well from the different constituencies. Election is held by our country's IEC. We are also elected by the country's IEC, but at a youth level. So we pushed this bill, and actually we succeeded in doing this. Your voice counts as young people. As youth parliament too, we also staged some sort of a protest, and of course influenced and promoted a bill in regards to the Children's Act in 2010. And it garnered a lot of momentum. It garnered a lot of attention from state and non-state actors as well. Even the private sector that has all the money to do something chipped in and get things done. And it was a big success. And that is how we were able to have the Children's Act. And we also have the Women's Act too. It is young people. Youth Parliament led that action, getting things done. And we were able to succeed in getting the Women's Act. And guess what? Young people also championed the cause of our FGM, the ban of FGM. FGM is female genital mutilation in the Gambia. We also engineered that move, and we were able to have that law passed also in the Gambia. So your vote count, your voice count, your energy and effort count. It might take a long time. It might take a daunting task, but it really, really counts. It makes a difference, because I can tell you, under a very, very tedious process, under a dictator in the Gambia, we were able to succeed in these areas. it is remarkable. At CPA level, we were able to have the child sex tourism policy in play. We look at the whole tourism department. Tourism in Netherlands came up with the funding, and of course, we were able to go into our tourism sector. How do our tourists and people that are working in the industry abuse our kids that comes into the tourism, either by economic activities or by just family links and family ties? CPA is able to look at that component and influence policy, influence government to redirect focus and attention to this very interesting and very powerful issue. So your voice count, your strength and energy matter a lot, because you can make a change. You may not realize it like tangibly right there and then, but it really, really counts. We were able to champion, remember, part of NACO, representing GAMSU, it's another consortium of young people. It's about 19-member consortium coming together as a youth organization. We were able to engage UNICEF to fund a program that looks into birth certification registration. We realized a lot of young people in the Gambia don't have birth certificates. All they have is like clinical card. They only have to grow up to now think of getting a birth certificate in play. We were able to register a whole lot of success in regards to this. People in the rural area don't have the facilities. They don't have even the institutions in play. We were able to push government, advocate to really get people registered to have birth certificates, because a birth certificate explains what your nationality is, in short, at a basic level. So your voice counts, and whatever little bit you do in your own corner can make a big difference. What we need today is attitudinal change and system change. Young people should be able to understand that we have the power, because we're the base of our economies, we're the base of our governance, we're the base even of what matters most. The wealth, the business, we're the base. Unfortunately, we are lacking in our leadership component. And the will, it's very important. Leadership will, government will to really get things moving. It's very important, because they're supposed to provide that atmosphere, that environment to really get young people free. And if you have those governance structures, those governments, all older people, it's a problem, because they probably may not know at one point in time what young people really need. So I will implore on you as young people to come out and, of course, participate in these very important issues. Young people, generally in Africa, we have four things that we can look into: leadership, health, education, and economy. These four things, once we're able to focus our attention on this thing, everything else will fall into play. Our success, our development lies in these four things: leadership, education, healthcare, and of course, economy. So we must be able to come out of our shells to really endeavor and, of course, be a part of these components of our development. Youth empowerment would not just come from anywhere else. It comes from us and within us. We make it happen. We come out and really show every other person that we are very ready to get things done. And I'm sure we can do it. I am very, very, very sure we can do it. I'll give you an example. In the Gambia in 2016, young people booted Yaya Jammeh out. This is politics, but it is important we understand it is also part of leadership. The role young people play in leadership and, of course, in selection of their leaders. Young people play a very, very pivotal role in that aspect, because it is young people that engineered the social media. It's young people that engineered the voting system. We were able to amass a whole lot of wealth to really encourage young people to go and register to vote. Usually, politicians will come around and then use young people to clap and dance, and that's the end of the story. Once they win, it is until another 5 years again, or until another 4 years again. So this time around, young people say, no, it cannot be like that. It has to be our way. The mistake we did was he have to go, but what is the mechanism in play in case should in case he's gone. So that is where there was some loophole, some gap. And that is why today we're in another mess as well. I think very soon it will also be sorted out, because young people have come to realize how much they can do together, how much they can achieve as a team, as a family. So it is very important you think in that dimension. How can we revitalize? How can we reinvigorate, re-energize our efforts to really get things done? It's about time. It's very important that we understand that. Young people can do a lot more together. Yahya Jammeh's experience is a very powerful playbook that Africans need to look at again. Play it, actually, because it was like, regardless of what you believe as a young person, regardless of where you come from, what kind of tribe you are, which school do you go to, what's your profession, they all come together. Diaspora and the people within the different African countries, we came together, pool resource together, bring in materials and resource, get things happen. Yahya Jammeh could not believe that. And we can do it again. And it can happen in other countries too. It can happen to Uganda. It can happen in Ghana. It can happen in Ivory Coast. It can happen in South Africa. It can happen in Zimbabwe. It can happen anywhere else within Africa and elsewhere. So we can do it. Let's use the playbook. We're not backing down. We're not giving up. We are, in fact, doubling up. The energy have to go up and up. We have to play it safe, but play it very well to our advantage. Today, around the world, we are plagued with COVID. We are plagued with so many other vices. We are plagued with poverty. We are plagued with other diseases as well, not just COVID. We are plagued with so many other stuff. But at the end of the day, the brunt of the suffering goes back to young people. So let us take care of ourselves. Let us exercise healthy living. Healthy living is not just health related or medical related, but of course your mental health, your financial health, your family health, your social being health kind of thing. It is important that you enhance that relationship, that networking, that integration between you and your folks, you and your peers. Because at the end of the day, you cannot exist in isolation. You should be able to come together as a team, as a network, to really get things done. Mandela had always said, it is impossible until it is done. And I believe in it. It will always be impossible until it is done. So on this note, it is very possible. We just need to come together, fight and advocate for system change, because it is important that we look into that. You can change governments if you want to. You can change platforms if you want to. You can change every other thing else. If you don't change the systems, it's not going to go. It's not going to happen. So we need that system change. We need that attitudinal change for the better. We need to really look back, reflect, look into ourselves. How far am I going? What am I doing to make it better? Where am I right now? Set goals, set strategies, bring in activities. If you fail, come back again. What is important is rising back up. Failing is part of life. They will always tell you that Kentucky Fried owner, founder, and CEO, president, former president, had tried 109 times. 108 times. The 9th time, he succeeded. 108 times. I'm very sure with the kind of orientation, with the kind of awareness today, we may not even get to that level, but we will be able to get there as we so desired. So I implore you once again, young people, we hold the grip of this world. We have the power to change this world. We have the power to move mountains. We have the power to get it done. The job is there. Let us just organize. Let us get it together. Let us understand that it is our task to do. We cannot leave it for anyone else. It's about us. It's about getting it together. Don't tear each other down. Bring each other up. Cheer each other up. Call on each other. Seek for help. Success comes contagious. You have it, every other person can have it too. There is no way we can do it all by ourselves alone. That culture of individuality really must go. It has to be that collectivism. Let's do it. It's very possible. I am very, very convinced it's very possible. I'll tell you one bad attitude I used to have in college. I'm not proud of it, but it worked for me. I would never study, but I always call my friends. And when they come around, we sit together as in a study circle. Trust me, I learn a lot more than even sitting in the classroom. So what I'm trying to get at is like the power of communality, the power of coming together. It is very key. I've always had this story too, that the animal kingdom, where all of the animals are so much scared about the lion that they could not even do anything. They cannot even progress. Nothing can happen within their midst. And the animals gathered. This is the power of unity. As young people, the animals gathered. They have discussed themselves, discussed what actually is happening. They all understand that they have a common enemy. They said one way to really bring that common enemy down is to really unite and understand what is our role and what we do and how we do it. Guess what? The lion can just pounce on any animal and eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They say, okay, fine, let's do it this way. If a family of an animal is in charge of this day, the next day it will be another family. The next day is another family. That way, we cannot just have one family of animal just being taken by the lion. So at the end of the day, they are risking extinction. So they succeeded in getting everybody on board, all the animals. It was the turn of the rabbit. The first small rabbit have to be presented for breakfast. As soon as the rabbit enters the lion's den, he said, well, I'm here for your breakfast. Lion said, okay, all right. But before we start everything else, I want to tell you this, Uncle Lion. The rabbit is speaking to the lion. That I don't know if he is aware, if you are aware, that there is another lion in the bush that is even more powerful. The lion got so much agitated, he was not even thinking. The lion moves to say, okay, I need you to show me this lion that you're talking about, because it cannot exist. I can be the only king of the forest, the king of the jungle. This rabbit led the lion to the forest. They went up to the old well. As soon as they arrived, the rabbit told the lion that look into this well. That is where the real big lion is. As soon as the lion dipped his head into the well, he saw himself like from the water. And he thought it's the other lion. He has to go in straight into the well to really go and fight that lion. That was the end of that lion. In the end, all the animals rejoiced because that wouldn't mean anything like, okay, a lion pouncing on them to eat. So this story really captures how much we can achieve as a team, as a family, coming together to really approach the common menace in our society. So on this note, I would say thank you so much for being part of this very great initiative. And I hope and pray that we are able to really share and, of course, diversify our attention on the various issues in Africa. It's all about Africa.